In the dimly lit corners of our deepest fears, there lies a chilling truth that echoes through the ages. Welcome, brave souls, to a journey into the heart of darkness, where the innocent faces of dolls hide sinister secrets. Tonight, we peel back the layers of childhood nightmares, venturing into tales where these eerie playthings are not what they seem. Each story we uncover is a thread in the tapestry of terror, woven with whispers of warning. Remember, in the realm of the uncanny, every blink might reveal a hidden horror. So gather your courage, for we are about to explore the shadowy world where the line between toy and terror is terrifyingly thin. Stay close, for in this realm, trust is as fragile as porcelain, and fear is as real as the dolls that haunt our dreams. Story number 1. The Whispering Willow Doll. In the small, seemingly peaceful town of Elmswood, there was an antique shop that was rumored to be haunted. Among its dusty shelves and ancient artifacts, there sat a peculiar doll named Willow. Willow was not like other dolls. Her eyes seemed too lifelike, and her porcelain face was always fixed in a sinister smile. Sarah, a curious teenager, was instantly drawn to Willow when she visited the shop. Despite the shopkeeper's vague warnings about the doll's past, Sarah bought Willow, intrigued by her mysterious aura. At home, Sarah placed Willow on her bedside table. That night, strange whispers filled her room, but she assumed it was just the wind. However, over the next few days, unsettling events began to occur. Sarah's things would move on their own, and she would often find Willow in different places from where she had left her. One evening, Sarah woke up to the sound of giggling. In the dim light of her room, she saw Willow's eyes glowing faintly, her mouth moving as if she was whispering secrets to the shadows. Terrified, Sarah tried to get rid of the doll, but each time she did, Willow would reappear, her smile wider, her eyes darker. Desperate for answers, Sarah researched the doll's history and discovered that Willow was once owned by a young girl who mysteriously vanished. The only thing left behind was Willow, sitting beside an open window, still and silent. Determined to end the haunting, Sarah decided to confront the doll. That night, as the whispers grew louder, Sarah firmly told Willow that she was not welcome. A chilling laugh echoed through the room, and the temperature dropped. The doll's face contorted into an angry snarl, and the room plunged into darkness. When the lights flickered back on, Willow was gone. Sarah's room felt peaceful for the first time in days, but the relief was short-lived. The next morning, Sarah's younger sister excitedly showed her a new doll she found by the roadside. It was Willow, her smile more menacing than ever. From that day on, strange occurrences plagued the town. People whispered of a cursed doll that brought misfortune to anyone who crossed her path. And in the dead of night, if one listened closely, they could hear the faint sound of Willow's whispers, weaving nightmares into reality. Story number 2. The Marionette's Shadow. In the quaint village of Ravenswood, nestled at the edge of a dense forest, there stood an old Victorian house known as the Ghastly estate. The house had been abandoned for years, its history shrouded in mystery and dark rumors. At the heart of these rumors was a peculiar object, a life-sized marionette doll named Mr. String. Local legend had it that Mr. String was crafted by a reclusive puppeteer who lived in the Ghastly estate over a century ago. It was said that the puppeteer poured his soul into making Mr. String, creating a doll that could move on its own, whispering secrets of the past and future to those who dared to listen. Intrigued by the legend, a group of 4 friends, Alex, Mia, Tyler, and Zoe, decided to explore the Ghastly estate one stormy night. Their goal was to find Mr. String and uncover the truth behind the stories. As they entered the dilapidated house, they were greeted by an eerie silence. The air was thick with the scent of old wood and mildew. After searching through the house, they finally found Mr. String in the attic, sitting on an ornate chair, his wooden eyes staring blankly into space. The friends laughed off their initial fear, joking about how silly the legend was. However, as the night progressed, strange things began to happen. They heard soft footsteps above them, though they were all on the same floor. Doors creaked open and shut on their own, and a cold draft seemed to follow them wherever they went. Feeling uneasy, the group decided to leave, but when they tried to exit the house, they found all the doors locked and the windows sealed shut. Panicked, they returned to the attic, only to find Mr. String gone from his chair. The house plunged into darkness as the storm outside raged. In the flashes of lightning, they saw glimpses of Mr. String moving in the shadows, his wooden limbs creaking eerily. His once expressionless face now bore a twisted grin, and his eyes seemed to follow them with a malevolent intelligence. The friends realized that the puppeteer's soul, trapped within Mr. String, was seeking new souls to join him in his eternal loneliness. One by one, the friends were separated in the chaos of the storm and the shifting shadows of the house. Alex found himself cornered by Mr. String in the library. The doll's whispers filled the room, speaking of forgotten tragedies and unsolved mysteries of the Hensley estate. Just as Mr. String lunged at Alex, a bolt of lightning struck the house, setting it ablaze. The fire spread quickly, consuming the old wood and the malevolent presence within it. Alex managed to escape, but his friends were nowhere to be found. As he watched the house burn from a safe distance, he heard the faint sound of marionette strings snapping and a final chilling laugh. The next morning, the authorities found no trace of Mia, Tyler, or Zoe. All that remained of the Hensley estate was ash and rubble. But locals whispered that on stormy nights, you could still hear the creaking of puppet strings and see the shadow of Mr. String dancing in the flames. Alex left Ravenswood soon after, haunted by the memories and the unshakable feeling that somewhere, in the shadows, Mr. String was still watching, waiting for his next performance. Story number 3. The Collector's Curse. In the sprawling city of Greystone, renowned for its history and architecture, there was an obscure collector named Edgar Holloway. Edgar was known for his fascination with antique dolls, each with its own story and mysterious past. His most prized possession was a rare doll named Cordelia, famed for her intricate details and unsettling lifelike appearance. Cordelia was no ordinary doll. She was crafted in the late 1800s by a master toymaker who, according to legend, infused her with a spirit to grant her eternal life. Edgar, oblivious to the legend, was drawn to Cordelia's beauty and enigmatic aura. Over time, Edgar noticed peculiar occurrences in his home. Objects would move on their own, and he would often hear soft lullabies in the dead of night. He brushed these off as figments of his imagination, but as the days passed, the events grew more disturbing. One night, Edgar woke to find Cordelia standing at the foot of his bed, her glassy eyes staring into his soul. Terrified, he locked her away in a chest, hoping to end the nightmare. But the hauntings only intensified. Seeking help, Edgar consulted a local historian, who revealed the chilling truth about Cordelia. The doll was bound to a spirit that sought to bridge the gap between the living and the dead. The only way to break the curse was to return Cordelia to her creator's grave. Determined to rid himself of the curse, Edgar set out to locate the grave. His journey led him to a decrepit cemetery on the outskirts of Greystone, where the toymaker was said to be buried. As Edgar began his search, a dense fog enveloped the cemetery, and the air grew cold. He could feel Cordelia's presence growing stronger, her whispers echoing in the mist. Finally, he found the toymaker's grave, but as he approached, Cordelia's spirit manifested, her form twisting into a grotesque apparition. Edgar, driven by fear and desperation, placed Cordelia on the grave. A blinding light engulfed the area, and a deafening scream pierced the night. When the light faded, both Cordelia and the apparition were gone. Edgar returned home, relieved but forever changed. He abandoned his collection, fearful of inviting another curse into his life. However, the legend of Cordelia lived on. People claim to see a ghostly figure of a young girl wandering the cemetery, singing lullabies to forgotten souls. The story of Edgar Holloway and Cordelia became a cautionary tale in Greystone. Parents warned their children about the dangers of tampering with the unknown, and the tale of the collector's curse was passed down through generations. But the most unsettling part of the legend was the mysterious disappearance of several antique dolls from Edgar's collection after that fateful night. Some say they were spirited away by Cordelia, forever bound to roam the earth, each carrying a fragment of her cursed legacy. As we close this chapter of chilling tales, remember, the world of scary dolls is a realm where trust is a fragile thing, and the line between the playful and the perilous is perilously thin. Thank you for joining me on this eerie journey through the shadows of fear. If these stories have sent shivers down your spine, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more spine-tingling adventures into the unknown. And remember, next time you glance at a doll, think twice, for not all toys are as innocent as they seem. Until we meet again in the dim light of another haunted tale, stay safe, stay curious, and keep the lights on. Good night, and dare to dream, if you can.